I'm Joe.
And I'm Kokoy.
Together we are.
Titos with Box.
Oh yeah. So
We're doing an unboxing episode, Joe. But this is going to be a special one.
okay. So normally we talk about ukuleles.
This must
And
be a small one. Look.
Yeah, like damn, what happened to the neck?
Yes.
Like so, here this is the whole thing from. the
Yes, I
back.
have a surprise for you.
Okay.
Well, actually, what we have here for you is that if you wonder how ukulele is built, the only way you can find out is to make one for yourself. And with this, inside the box we have right now is a DIY kit
Whoa.
from your favorite online, wherever parts of the world you're coming from. This is basically a DIY kit, Joe, so that you can build your own ukulele. It's a fun project for you and your kids or for yourself. It does come with a little assembly required. Yes, and if you are a parent, that means you have to do that.
So is this? I cannot entrust this solely to my child.
Not really, but that's going to be part of our episode for today to help you and guide you and your child or your wife or your significant other in building your own ukulele. So let me just put these boxes aside and we will discuss what parts you might need. So a ukulele is just an acoustic instrument, and the important thing is that they have the sound that's coming from a well-built body. Now this is a DIY kit, so don't expect too much from the sound, but it is a fun project.
Okay.
Just like those paint
and
yourself pottery.
Okay, so what I'm holding here, it's the
Okay,
neck with the
a
headstock.
ukulele is really just a wooden instrument with just more or less two basic parts. It's just joining the neck to the body, then just attaching fretboards and bridges and stuff to that. So this kit comes with all of it, except the glue that you might need.
So any kind of glue you recommend?
Yeah. So joining any instrument together, especially this wood one, luthiers would usually use different kinds of glue. In the old days, you would use the hide glue or the natural animal glue. But for this case, wood glue is the ones that you get from your regular hardware store or craft store. Wood glue is the best glue for this. We will discuss on how you're going to do that with our build yourself episode. But look, it's so plain. Now it's wanting to be painted and designed. So if you were to make one, you have to start with designing it.
So are all the materials there?
So far, what we have are the bridge, the tuners, the string, the saddles, the nut, and the screws that go with it. The only real thing that's missing is the glue that you're supposed to use.
What about sandpaper?
Sandpaper, those are things that you will have to get on your own. There are certain things that might not be included in some of these cheap kits. So you just have to make sure that
When you say cheap, how much should everything cost?
Okay, depends on where you're ordering it from. This is just roughly a little above $10. So with shipping and all, it would come to about 15.
Yeah. I think I saw something similar at Flying Tiger at the mall.
Yeah, Flying Tiger is a European-based,
$20.
little mini store for these cutesy stuff.
Okay.
And these are popular because it's always a nice activity to do a DIY with your children or even by yourself.
Okay,
So this looks so plain. For what I did is what we will be doing is that what I did is to design something that we can put in here. It's going to be a surprise. So what we will do is we're going to assemble this and come back later with the final product.
okay.
All right. So with that, let's move up to our how to build your own ukulele. Putting together your own instruments is a satisfying experience. You can get your do-it-yourself kit online or from your craft store. It can be a fun way to introduce yourself or your kids to the wonderful world of music. I got my DIY kit online for about $10. This is cheaper than any toy ukulele, so I'm not expecting much. As long as it makes a sound and looks nice, I'm game. First, you lay out all the parts from your box on your table. It is important that all the parts are in.
as small screws and parts may get lost. There was no instructions in my kit. This is why we're making this video to help you out. Unfortunately, my kit did not come with glue. What you would need is a strong wood glue. Regular craft glue won't hold the neck to the body. You might need to get a wood glue like Titebond, Elmer's wood glue, or anything similar. Do expect that the glue might cost even half of the kit for the smallest bottle. Once you lay out the parts, put aside in a safe place all the small parts. We are going to put the wood parts together first. Normally you would paint your design after the ukulele is assembled, but I'm using a printed design for this build and I'm protecting it later with top coat, so I'm putting the design on first. You can just paint your design over the ukulele or print the design and stick it on the top. I prefer to use vinyl stickers for my tops because they are easy to apply and are flexible, which lays itself well on the wood, and if I make a mistake, at least I can move it a little bit. But before you apply the design, you have to make sure all the parts will go on properly. Take the body and the neck, set the peg joint and practice putting them together. Make sure they are aligned properly with the top and the neck, creating a flat plane where the fretboard will later rest. If they don't align, don't worry. Adjust the peg hole on the body a little bit until they do. It is important that the base of the neck has a solid connection with the body because the tension of the strings will pry it out if they don't. So, also check if you need to sand a little bit until they have a seamless connection. A strong glue will be needed for this later, which is why paper glue won't work. To prepare your kit for paint and assembly, start by sanding smooth the wood parts with 240 grit. I love using sanding blocks for my sanding. Before putting any design, I prefer to apply a primer to my body and neck. This not only creates better adhesion of paint or sticker, it also gives a colored background in case there are gaps in my design. I like using spray paints that have primer already mixed in, like this one from Krylon. Let's apply purple on this Titos with Ukuleles limited edition ukulele. Apply about 2 to 3 coats for best results. Leave paint to dry for at least 2 hours before applying any design on it. After that, sand a little with finer sandpaper like 320 or more, especially the top where the design will go. When applying the sticker or paper top, it is important to apply it first before assembling the ukulele. It will be harder to cut around the bridge and the neck if you do these last. Next, peel the sticker on one segment at a time and use your fingers evenly spreading the material, avoiding bubbles and folds. Once the design is on the body, rub down the materials to make sure it is snug and flat, cut the sound hole and the edges smooth with a fine blade, and step back, admire your design to make sure you are happy with it. You can apply the top coat to protect your work at this time. It is easier than doing it after everything. Usually, luthiers apply the top coat after, but you will have to also remask all the parts to do so. Since this is a simple build, you don't need to do that. The next step is to rest the neck to the body. Put the peg in and align it with the neck. Doesn't matter if you put it on the body or the neck first, as long as the top parts are aligned flat. This is important for fretboard to rest well. Apply wood glue generously on both the body and the neck. Blow on them a little bit for a few seconds. What you want to do is to have gooey material, which will be easier to set and less messy. Don't worry about glue leaking all over the sides of the joints, since they can be wiped clean with water a little later after the neck has set. It is important that there is solid connection. Push on the joints every now and then to make sure that the joints stay on. You don't need clamps for this kit. That is why you want the glue to be more like paste than liquid. After 30 minutes, the glue will set, but for a perfect bond, leave this for the day. One thing I noticed with this cheap kit is that the neck won't perfectly set. I'd later discovered that the tension is still too strong. Glue might not be enough. What I did was to look into the sound hole and use a slim screw of about 1 inch under the peg hole to hold the neck base solid. Just make sure you estimate the screw size so that it doesn't go out the base of the neck. If you do this, you can set the fretboard an hour later, as the screw will hold your project together while it sets for a solid day. To set the fretboard, you must first position where the nut, the smaller thick cream bar, will be on the upper part of the neck. Usually the headstock breaks at an angle, so the nut will be positioned on the flat side of that break. But don't glue the nut yet. Mark the side on the neck where the fretboard will join the nut. This kit comes with zip ties to hold the fretboard while the glue dries. If you have clamps, that is better. The fret on this kit is plastic, which comes with ridges, but it is enough for the glue to hold. I would have preferred a wood fretboard. Apply the wood glue evenly and generously all through the neck and the back of the fretboard. I prefer using a sponge brush. Zip tie the fretboard down and leave it for an hour to set in. By the way, for best results, the fretboard and the bridge would need to connect to bare wood. At this point, before gluing in, you can practice set these parts on the printed surface and carefully cut out the sticker or paper top, leaving a nice place for the bridge or fretboard to lay. This is why I prefer vinyl stickers, as they are easier to work with. This is also why I have a primer underneath, so that if I make a mistake, the gaps are colored. Okay, so we have glued the neck on. Just wait at least 30 minutes to an hour before moving on. To be sure, I use my clamps. After the neck has set, next is to apply the bridge. If you are lucky and the kit comes with pre-drilled holes for the bridge screws, then just feel it while applying the sticker top and mark it. If not, like in my case, you have to get the scale length of your instrument. Usually the maker will tell you, concert or soprano. If it's a concert, then the scale, which is the distance from the nut to the saddle of the bridge, is about 15 inches. This is where a little mat comes in. Align the saddle 15 inches from the nut. To center the bridge, just measure equal distances from the edges of the body and the edges of the bridge, carefully making sure that they are completely straight on. Instruments rely on this perfect alignment to keep intonation, or in short, in tune. As mentioned, you might need wood glue to set your bridge, as the supplied screws are not enough for string tension. Once you know where the bridge should be, mark it and cut away the sticker material to reveal the wood. It is okay to have the primer on. What is important is that the bridge is glued to the wood. If it's glued to the paper or sticker, tension will lift and rip them off. I had to use bigger screws for the bridge, as the one in the kit is not really enough. No need to clamp, as the screws will hold the glue in place while drying. For each part you glue on, dry time is about 30 minutes. But to have perfect bind, it is a day at least. If you plan this well, you can finish this project in a day or two. Of course, you can speed things up with better screws. The tuners are easy and can be installed at any point of this build after final paint is on. Just put the plastic rings on top and align the tuners with the supplied screw holes, and that's it. When the bridge is done, you can cover the screw holes with the inlays supplied and prepare to put your strings on. It is best that the parts settle for at least a day before installing strings, as the tension can break your build easy. To install your strings, you can watch our video on that by visiting our channel. And there you go. Just let the strings settle, pull it a little bit to stretch, and you have built your own ukulele. Congratulations! Well, usually you would need a little luthier know-how before you can put this together. It's not easy, and kids would need parental guidance. The total cost will be roughly about the same as a basic ready-made ukulele online. I got the kit for about $10, material like the glue and paint another $10, and the labor, well, about $100. Isn't that fun?
Hey, we're back.
Yes, and I finally finished our DIY project.
What?
It only took me like 3 minutes.
Wow. God, the wonders of editing.
Yeah, the wonders of editing. So now for the big reveal. Everyone, this is our custom-made ukulele.
Here we go. Dog.
There you go. Now let's bring it closer for our viewers. Okay, what you are seeing is our special Titos with ukuleles design. Will soon be available down below. No, but I decided to put our design into it, specifically with using sticker top. So I printed the design. I designed it, printed it out, looking like an old 80s thing.
Okay.
So if you notice the video, there are really a lot of things that you have to keep in mind when you're starting off with a build like this.
So, okay, let me get this straight. I noticed a few things.
Yes.
Number one, the fretboard is plastic.
Yes, with this sub $15 kit, you will definitely have a plastic fretboard. That's also the easiest way they can build it.
Yeah. So the fretboard and the frets are all plastic and just stuck it there with glue.
Yes, and again, I had to use wood glue all throughout here, as seen in our DIY segment. So once you just sell this, like in the DIY segment, you can use the supplied zip ties. You don't need to really buy. But really, my main issue was that these DIY kits are so cheaply made that the holes that's supposed to align the peg that keeps the neck connected to the body was misaligned so much that the fretboard won't apply very well. It was not leveled. So I had to reshape the hole and bring it up.
Yeah. So that's why there's it's not perfectly aligned here.
Yes, this is again a fast 3-minute build. No, it took us a few edits and a few days. But the build itself is that in a kit like this, because this was really made for a child's build, I don't think they accommodated for such things as the actual pressure of tuning this in the full GCEA. So that means that the pressure is pulling too much. So I had a problem with the connection. So I had to actually put a screw. So if you're building this for your kid, you will have to put a sizable screw that won't go through the wood, but will have to fall and rest here by the base of the neck.
Okay, I have another concern. So the bridge is plastic.
Yes, the bridge is also plastic. The nut is plastic, but it does connect to the body.
Okay, so
with screws and glue if need be.
So for every specific size of a ukulele, aside from the physical length, we also have to consider the scale, right? The distance from the nut to the bridge. So did this have any markings on where to put the bridge?
Okay, with a kit like this, the issue is sometimes they do it so fast. So this particular body didn't have any markings on where you're going to put the bridge. So as discussed in the segment, is how you measure it is depending on the what they declare. So if they declare this as a concert kit or a soprano kit, just follow the standard measurements from bridge to nut. Because this one is about 15 inches. I had to do that based on this scale. They said it's like a concert, so that's where I based it, and I measured.
You also have to center it manually?
Yes, I have to center it manually. Now, to center it, you can either put tape and try to center it as much, or you measure equal distance from the body side. Now,
So
again,
from here to there, right?
yes, or here to there. Once you just mark where the 15-inch or whatever inch your scale is based on, again, the kit that you bought. So that's the best thing about this, is that it comes in as a screw-in easy assemble kit, right? So that when you are assembling the bridge, you can actually make a mistake and move the bridge by unscrewing it and back. The only thing you have to be cautious is that this is a cheap wood. So right now, one of the errors that I find in my build is that it's actually, because I did not glue it yet, which is something you might have to do with wood glue, because a normal glue won't stick. So with the wood glue, it will hold the bridge to the body. With the screw alone, it's just holding on, the pull pressure is holding on to the screw. I had to actually use larger screws than the one in the kit because the kit is so small. But I feel the wood is actually beginning to rip out because it's also a cheap, very thin wood. Not much plywood, but really thin wood.
Okay, I got a look at the kit and I noticed that, okay, so it came with the 4 strings, right?
Yes, it's for unlabeled strings.
Nothing was marked which was
You
G,
might find
which
a
was
better
C.
kit in such shops and brands like Flying Tiger or otherwise.
Yeah. So this needs a little bit of IQ. Okay, I also noticed that a lot of the surfaces were rough. So how much sanding did you do?
Yes, because in my painting styles I did use a spray coat, which makes it faster. That's also if that's how you choose it, or if your child wants their own painting on it, then you can do that as well. But you have to have a nice sanded base, and normally you just sand it because this is a fast project. You didn't want to put too much time in sanding it because that takes hours. So you just sand it a little here and there. Now the thing is, once you apply paint, depending on the paint you're using, the wood will rise. That's the best description about it. You will have some like pock marks, like like little bumps, because the wood inside is rising when the paint is trying to get in. So you have to sand it once or twice after every coat until you feel the preference. I like a kind of a rough, natural look, so I didn't sand it too much. But that's a good question, because when you're applying the anything that you are gluing anything on, you have to sand it pretty well enough that it's still flat, so that when you connect the glue will be equally spread out.
Okay. So obviously you didn't hand paint this. This whole top is
Yes, this is a a printable top. What I use is the vinyl print because it's easier. When you make a mistake, you just kind of lift it back again and peel it back. But if you use a paper top, in some ways that is a little bit of better adherence, because that means you will have to use wood glue as your base. Just be watchful that if you're using a very thin paper and you put liquid glue, you might actually get some blotching, or depending.
I think
on the
only
material.
thing they simplified on this thing was the slotted bridge. You don't have to tie anything.
Yes, as a DIY, they did as simple as possible. Although you do need a little screwing. So for the open tuners, you do have 2 screws for every. So that's also one thing that you have to eyeball the alignment of the knobs. But overall, for such a sub, so you're looking at a $15 ukulele with $100 labor and paint. No, but if you're doing it on your own, of course, the labor is love and free. So it's a very nice project. It's honestly a nice project. And with that, I'd like to invite you for our sound sample.
Okay, you want to do it?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so what do you think of the sound?
Yeah, you got what you paid for.
Yeah, but it's fun. When you're playing, you're hearing your kid play. He might not be a virtuoso at the start, but if it gets him to play, it gets them to playing, then definitely it's a very good purchase and a good project for you and your family.
Maybe I'd have gusto if this were more like a Lego that everything just snaps into place perfectly.
Yes, actually, there might be some kits that I have not seen, but I assume that there are kits that are making it easier. Like, for example, if you can screw the bridge, you can actually screw your fretboard in, hiding it underneath the markers, right? Just like the bridge hides it underneath these 2 inlays. So underneath these 2 dot inlays, there's actually the screw. And again, I had to use a thicker screw or a stronger screw so that you can that holds it easier. Again, once more, the only thing that's lacking right now in my build, because again, we did this for this episode, is that I did not glue it yet to the body. The glue will be important to holding the body closer. So part of the project is that when you're screwing it, and once you're very confident in your screw, I remind you to actually just, without the tension, of course, is to put the glue, then you screw it, because otherwise you would need a clamp. So the screw with the glue, we'll hold it until it dries for a day at least. Make it dry for a day before you put the string.
So, any other observations or comments while you were making this? Anything? If they were going to do it, what should they watch out for?
Yes, as discussed with the DIY building segment, the things that you have to be cautious about this is one, manage your expectations. It's really just a very fun ukulele that can sound well to your heart, right? Now, it is roughly a nice sounding ukulele for $15 to $20 if you think about it that way, because of course you can buy the cheap ones. I think we did an episode on the cheap painted one with the fruit. Now, technically, that is a little better just because the fretboard is a little bit done better. Even I think that was also synthetic. But this one, it's really purely a project. So again, what is needed is you have to reinforce, because these are not built they were not designed to accommodate the tension that you need for such the normal tuning. So with that, it's a very nice project, don't you think? Don't you think you want to make your own?
Yeah, I want to try my hand at it.
Well, don't worry, because I do have an extra kit that we can do, and for some future episode, you will just be presenting. I will give you time, not just 3 minutes. So with that, we will leave Joe with that challenge, right, guys? So, Joe, any last words before I hand you your project, your homework?
Yeah, I'd like to take this opportunity to tell everyone out there, please like our videos, subscribe to our channel. Really keeps us going.
And not only do we buy whatever's in our collection and not donate it to us, now we're beginning to build them. Yes.
Okay, so gimme.
So, okay, Joe, we will give you your ukulele for your homework, and you better have a better design.
You'll grade it?
Yes, we will grade it. The audience will grade it, the thumbs up or thumbs down, right? So, okay, thank you very much for bearing with us to this DIY episode. And hopefully, if you do have your own and you end up with your own design, feel free to just communicate with us and contact us.
Show it off.
Well, at least you can just send us in the private messages and show us off your project, or you can do your own channel.